Hey everybody, I'm Jessica Brodie, and this is Shining the Light. I have what my sister Sarah calls a magic mirror in my workout room. Now the mirror is slightly tilted so that when I'm lifting weights, I can see everything. I can see the whole length of my body without having to stay really far back so I can check my form and everything. But it has the added effect that I didn't notice until she pointed out to me that it somehow makes everything look slimmer. It makes my legs look longer, it makes my waist look more slender. It's magic. On those days when you're feeling kind of blah, it's a really great trick. But today I want to talk about how sometimes in life we look at things through a similar distorted perspective. Sometimes we see the bad in somebody instead of the good. Or sometimes we're really blinded by someone's great looks or really charming personality, and we miss a really strong, toxic character flaw. And sometimes we have a way of looking at our past in a really distorted, inflated way. For instance, when I was a kid, I used to go to this great place called Riverboat Playhouse. Now, I was in elementary school at the time, and that place was amazing. It was bright and huge, and it had every arcade game any kid would ever want, and it had skee ball, and it had these great animals and people, and they were all dressed up, and it was like this magical place. You could go there and the whole world. It was like a local Disney World is what it felt like, and it was amazing. It was so colorful, and to my mind, it was one of the most special places on earth. But one day when I was much older, I went back, I think for a birthday party, and I was staggered. I mean, the place wasn't nearly as big as I remembered. The lighting was kind of dingy. The games were, nice, but kind of old and sort of junky looking, and it just wasn't anywhere near what I had built it in my mind. The thing is, in reality, the place hadn't changed. I'd grown up. That distorted perspective, it can be funny, but it can also be really dangerous too. Now, in Exodus, Moses has led the people out of Egypt, out of slavery, and they're wandering in the desert, and they're on their way to the promised land. But the Israelites, they were really hungry, and they were at a doubtful place in their lives. Even though Moses had set them free from Egyptian slavery through the help of the Lord, they had conveniently forgotten that. And now, because they were so hungry, they were looking back on their time in Egypt with a completely skewed view of that time. About partway through their journey, in the middle of the desert, I think month 2 of their journey, they started complaining to Moses and his brother Aaron. And they said, "If only we had died by the Lord's hand in Egypt. There we sat around pots of meat and ate all the food we wanted. But you have brought us out into this desert to starve this entire assembly to death." It's Exodus 16:3. "We had all the food that we wanted," they said, and yet they conveniently forgot that they'd been slaves. They'd been oppressed. They were in such great need at that time that they cried out to the Lord for help. They cried out for rescue so fervently that it says God remembered his covenant with their ancestors and answered their prayers. Hindsight can be so flawed. Wounds can become scars. We complain, forgetting to trust in God. We forget his promises. Our faith falters. We forget God is good, perfect, almighty. God keeps his promises. We just have to trust in him. I don't know where you are in life right now, but if you're experiencing any kind of season of discontent and you're really struggling in the center of that, take heart. stop and turn your heart to God. See what He's saying to you. Perhaps there's a reason that you're experiencing this season. Perhaps there's a lesson in this. Perhaps it's not a lesson for you, but for someone else. Perhaps, like the Israelites, it's far better than your previous situation. Only with all your fears and worries and everything else, your perspective is so distorted that you can't see that. And you're doubting that God is good and God has a plan. So today, forget magic mirrors, forget distorted perspectives, and just focus on trusting God and knowing that He has something good in store that He will use for His glory through you somehow, some way. He provides everything you need. All you have to do is trust Him. That's all for today, friends. Have a great day. If you're struggling with something, I encourage you to put it in the comments below or reach out to me on social media, email me, reach out on my website, which is jessicabrodie.com. If there's a way I can pray for you, I'd love to do that too. Life isn't easy. And there are so many things that can turn our attention, distract us, and distort our views. But when we keep our sights on God, it is so much easier because the path, at least, is clear. That's all for today, friends. Have a great week. God bless you. And remember to keep on shining the light.